Welcome to today's episode of Innovation Lab. When we hear artificial intelligence, we often think about self-driving cars or image generators. However, AI goes far beyond that. For this reason, today we are pleased to welcome the creators of the disruptive luxury fragrance Selon Moi, an AI-powered perfume.
Good morning!
Good morning, ladies. It's a pleasure to have you here. Could you introduce yourself and tell us who's behind Selon Moi?
Of course, we're Katerina and Yael, and together with our teammate Nina, we're 3 bachelor students from the University of St. Gallen. Unfortunately, Nina couldn't be with us today, but she's cheering us on from home.
A big hello to Nina. Now let's move on to a question that might test your poise a little. But don't worry, we'll start with an easy one. What were the main hurdles during the project and how did your team overcome them?
That's the easy question.
Yes.
Here what comes next. So as business and economics students, we were initially quite unfamiliar with the topic. We essentially only knew 2 things. First, that the beauty tech was rapidly gaining momentum in the fragrance industry, and second, that progress could come at the expense of the environment. So I would say that the greatest hurdle we faced during the project was understanding how beauty tech could be implemented without harming the environment. Katerina, do you agree?
Yes, I think that was exactly the core challenge we faced. There were moments when our learning agility was truly put to the test and giving up almost felt like a real option. But when I think back to those moments, what I really remember is how our resilience, fueled by mutual support, kept us moving forward.
Thank you. Building on that, Katerina, you mentioned that there were moments where you thought about giving up. What guided your decision making in those moments?
We tried to apply what we learned in class in a very practical way. For this reason, whenever the idea of giving up started to cross our minds, we would step back and conduct a quick SWOT analysis. I know that it might sound unusual, but it really helped us keep an unbiased judgment.
What an unconventional approach. Yael, at the beginning you mentioned that your project has a strong environmental purpose. But beyond this impact, what is the broader vision behind it?
So at its core, our project really is purpose-driven. We believe that beauty is not limited to appearance, but it's also a state of mind. That's why our ambition is to revolutionize the way people think about perfumery, encouraging them to see it as something that helps them feel their best every day.
Thank you very much, ladies. It was a real pleasure to meet you, and I truly hope your project will be successful.